Okay, so this is Trine 2. This is the one I've actually been playing the most, mainly because I don't know, I like it the least, I think, or at the very least. It is an okay game. It's just what I feel about this one is that all the levels are the same. The rogue isn't as powerful as she is in the last game, so going from the first game to this game felt quite jarring, I would say. But I guess I mean, the thing about this, the Trine series, is that each game does progress on, like, each game does feel different from each other, in a good way. It does. But I think I'll start showing you just one of the typical forest levels, I guess. But yeah, so the main game is basically all like forest levels. So it starts off forest, 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 forest. All of these are forest levels. That's a coastal level. That's a coastal level. Then it's like the final level in a mountain. But that's the end of the main game. So the main game was basically all forest, and then it kind of, like, I was surprised when it switched up there, to be honest. But it felt like I was never getting out of that forest, and because it didn't have the map screen in the first game, it just didn't feel like I was making much progress in this game when actually going through it. But what I can say about this one though is that this is like DLC that they added for the Wii U version. So this game got a Wii U version, by the way. But yeah, when they ported it over, they actually ported this from the Wii U, I think, and they added these DLC levels, which are incredible. Like, they actually add so much more story as well. Like, there's village, desert, inside a monster, ice cavern, flying village. So yeah, very interesting levels there. And I'll show you one of them later, but I'll show you this one because this one is actually really nice to look at. And I'm playing this one in German because I don't know why.
Eine wunderschöne Morgendämmerung.
Es sollte jetzt nicht mehr weit zu Rosabels Schloss sein.
So this is one of the more interesting levels. Like, this one is really nice to look at, I think. I mean, they're all really nice to look at. Like, this game actually definitely upped the graphics, I would say. And then Trine 3 actually ups the graphics a lot more to make it look much nicer. But just the underwater section in this game I really enjoy, as I really enjoy water in any game that does water well.
Ich weiß es nicht.
So what I feel about this game is that, I was saying the first one I kind of ran through it with the rogue mainly, but this one I do feel like they actually make you what am I doing? They actually make you, like, mix and match a lot more. I.e. this section here, I actually need to change to the mage to place that and then be able to jump, stuff like that. So it does feel like there are actually certain puzzles for certain classes. The thing about this one as well is that the late game's probably a lot better than the early game, because the early game it's a different, like, leveling up system. You level up, you don't get to give your characters items like you did in the last one. I thought the items were actually really interesting because it allowed you to put them where you wanted, so that you could decide who got what item and who leveled up in what way. But this one's just a very straight leveling up, and once you complete the game, you've basically only got the second row kind of full. This last row is all, I mean, you can if they're not connected by a line like these ones, you could always upgrade on your own, but why would you upgrade those ones when you haven't upgraded these ones? So it just felt like you were very limited. But now that I'm in late game and have pretty much leveled everyone up, you do have these quite cool magical abilities, like slowing down time, so that I can now create a floating plank like that. The mage to jump up, sort of low gravity field even, that's what it is, I think. But I'd say, yeah, I enjoy the late game of this one a lot more than playing through it the first time. Purely for the sort of late game abilities. Ah. I'm gonna try and cheese this. He's not being iced. But the one thing I'd say about this one over the first one is that the thief or the rogue got a lot more underpowered, which I don't like because I used the thief a lot in the first game, and I felt like I used her. Well, I mean, I guess it's good game design, I guess, that I didn't use her as much in this one as in the last one. But yeah, it was just kind of annoying. Like when I was used to, like when I was used to. Can I pick him up? No. I probably gonna die here. Yeah, I'll switch level anyway, just to get a bit of variety. But yeah, the mage is pretty much useless in a fight. I think in the first game he was quite good in a fight because you could actually, like, because there was, I think it was mainly skeletons you fought in the first game, so they would break if you chucked boxes at them, which was always good. But again in this one, they made it not so easy for him to do that. I'll choose. Pardon me. I think that one was interesting.
Die Helden hatten sich in einem
but in
magischen
general,
Wald
it is just a forest.
Pontius war ziemlich von einem
What I'll say about this one, like this, the main game in the DLC, the main difference is that the main game opens up with that little screen and the story is told that way, but the DLC actually feels like it has a story, like it actually has cutscenes and things like that, so it just felt like they put a lot more effort into the DLC, for unknown reasons. I actually think this is a boring level that I picked. Good. A good way for me to show you how boring this game can be, I guess. It's a forest level. It's set in a forest, like most of the other levels. So this level is basically 90% of the game, I guess. The main game, not including the DLC. And the only, so her bow and arrow is underpowered, but the only good thing about it is that it freezes people. So yeah, a couple hits there, whereas in the first game it generally only took about 2 or 3, if I got them right. Although they're archers, so they take less to hit. Same kind of controls, like using the right analog stick to do everything. R1 is to like use the grapple hook and attack with the knight, as well as conjuring stuff. Ooh. Traps and things happening as well. Oh shit. I need the knight. And I can't get the knight back. I will die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Oh, I can maybe get a trophy actually. I'm sure there's a trophy for like jumping on 3 enemies' heads. Maybe that's the first game. Probably the first game. In any case, they're killing each other. I think I can pick them up actually. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So I guess that's one thing he's got. Like, maybe he can't use the box to hit enemies, but he can do that, which is a bit cool. Oh shit. Anyway, so that was a forest level, which I don't like, and is the majority of the game. But I'll show you a DLC level. DLC levels were cool. They very varied, very interesting. They were I think they had in mind that you know, they were meant to be played after
ward das Trio
you'd
von
completed the
einem
game. So
schrecklichen
the
Lindwurm in
puzzles
ferne
that they have
Lande
in them,
geflogen.
talking over him. The puzzles that they have in them are based on sort of late level
Lindwurm flog
abilities that
davon
you get. And here you go. Here's a
und ließ die
cutscene.
Helden in einer staubigen
The DLC has
Einöde
cutscenes.
zurück.
The original game didn't.
Widerwärtige Wilde. Wir müssen Margaret und die Drillinge finden.
Die Kinder hat niemand erwähnt. Sie sind bestimmt in Sicherheit.
Was für eine schreckliche Hitze.
No, there's
Ich
generally more of a
koche in
cutscene than
meiner
that in the other
Rüstung.
levels. But no, I prefer this backdrop more than the forest setting, I think. I think maybe it's because, like, I mean, the first game had forest settings as well,
Trine ist
but they just didn't
fortgerannt.
overdo them.
Warum kommt er nicht und führt uns zu Margaret?
Aber wir stehen noch immer unter seinem Zauber. Sind noch verbunden.
Kopf hoch, wir finden sie.
Arme Margaret, welche Gräuel sie jetzt erdulden muss.
So yeah, this the puzzles in this one are set for late game, so you will be using zero gravity a lot to actually complete a lot of the puzzles, just because they had that in mind. They knew that people were, and yeah, these enemies are a lot more interesting as well than just fighting the same enemies in the main game. I'd say that's maybe one complaint of the series, is that the enemies are generally the same throughout the game. Like they get upgrades to them and stuff, but you're basically just fighting goblins throughout the game, which isn't exactly bad. There are bosses and stuff, interesting bosses as well, actually. Like, I was surprised, just because of the mechanics of the game and stuff, I was surprised at how they actually went about bosses. So the bosses are more like puzzles than oh fuck. Yeah. Let's try a different level. The bosses are more like puzzles than actual fights, which are quite cool. Especially the final bosses in each. That was a good one.
Während die Helden zu den Wolkeninseln flogen,
More
sorgten die
DLC.
Koboldschergen sich wegen eines rätselhaften
This one might have a
Lichtscheins.
longer cutscene at the start. Yeah. Generally each one had a cutscene at the start and end, like this.
Angst davor? Wer denn?
Alle, mein König. Wenn es uns nun tötet.
Nur ein Trick. Vergesst es. Und die Maschine?
Sie ist bereit. Wird die Stadtmauern durchbrechen und die Burg.
Gut.
Yeah.
Hättet ihr nur mich
So
fliegen
German.
lassen. Wie kommen wir jetzt wieder nach unten?
Darum kümmern wir uns, wenn die Kobolde besiegt sind.
Frisch ans
I mean, these games are beautiful. I really like the look of them. And as I said before, I enjoy the water in this one particularly. And yeah, just really nice. The games kind of got better graphically as it went on. I'm gonna go on to play Trine 3 as well and show you that. And I've not played much of Trine 3, but that's a really nice looking game. And I think they really upped the sort of game mechanics wise. Just like what they did with Trine 3 is they made it 3D rather than keep it to 2D, and like everything's changed around a wee bit.
Was zur Hölle
I've
ist
not
das?
actually completed that one yet. I've completed this one and Trine 1, but not played much of 3. Oh shit. I shall just do that again. Oh shit, didn't want to put it in there. I guess the fights can get quite hairy sometimes in this game. Just because it doesn't really feel like it's a fighting game, it feels like it's a puzzle game with fights in it. So you do kind of feel like you have to be a bit cheap sometimes. But it's all part of the game. Even with puzzles you can be quite cheap, like especially when you've got stuff like
Was war das? Ein